So today we're doing lesson 1.15, that's module 1, lesson 15. And your learning goal today is very similar to yesterday, right? Your learning goal is to use what you know about place value to divide decimals by whole numbers. Okay, so it's similar to what we did yesterday, and you're going to get more practice today. What two ways did we learn how to divide decimals by whole numbers yesterday? There were two strategies we used. Jithia, what was one of them? Standard algorithm, yeah. And the other one was, Young? Place value chart, you got it. So today we're going to again do place value chart and standard algorithm, the same two strategies. But first let's talk about the problem of the day. Go ahead and write this problem in your notebook, 1.7 divided by 2. Today we're going to simultaneously do the standard algorithm as well as the place value chart so that you can see how they are related. Okay, so you want to make sure in your notebook you have places to write a place value chart and a standard algorithm. Okay, now if we are going to set up our standard algorithm, which number lives inside the house? The whole, the divisor, or the quotient? Eva? Which number is the whole? 1 point. Very good. So go ahead and set up your standard algorithm so that 1.7 is inside the house. Now, which one is on knocking at the door? The 2. Very good. So make the 2 knocking at the door. Okay. Where is the 2, the divisor, where is that represented in our place value chart? Ani? Two groups, right? Very good. Where is the whole represented in the standard algorithm? Jithia? Well, in the standard algorithm, they're in the house, right? Right here. And on our place value chart, there are the dots we're going to put at the top. So go ahead and put one dot in the ones to show that there's 1, 1. And how many dots do we need to put in the tenths? 7. Go ahead and do that. Now, if we're going to share this 1, 1 into two groups, is there enough? No. So, how many times can we share it? How many ones can fit into each group? 0. So let's record that on our standard algorithm over here. Let's record that we put 0 into each group. Now, Mom's going to multiply to find out how many we used up. How many of the ones did we use up? 0. 0 times 2 is 0. So show right here that we used up 0 of them. How many ones are left? 1, right? Because we had 1, we didn't use any, so there's 1 left. 1 minus 0 is 1. Now we know that we can regroup those that 1, 1 into how many tenths? 10. Instead of drawing 10 dots today, I'm going to show you how you can have a shorthand notation to show 10. If you draw a line like that, that represents 10. Does this remind you of the place value rods? Okay, so if you draw 10 there, you have 10. Now, cross this one out because we regrouped it. How many tenths do we have altogether now? 17, because we had the 7 original dots plus the 1 rod, 10. That's the same as brother bringing down this 7, and now we have 17. Do you see that? Very good. Now, if I have 17 tenths and I want to share it equally into two groups, how many could go into each group? Think 17 divided by 2. What would that be? What's the closest whole number that doesn't go over? How many can fit in each group? Jonathan? 16 is close to 17. If I think 16 divided by 2, how many go into each group? 8. Okay, so go ahead and draw 8 dots in each group. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's in the first group, and 8 also go into the second group. Okay, now, if we drew 8 tenths in each group, record up here in the standard algorithm that we put 8 tenths into each group. How many did we use up? Mom can multiply. We put 8 into two groups, so 8 times 2 is 16. Very good. Okay, record that in the standard algorithm. Now, let's cross out. If I cross out the line, that's crossing out how many? 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. When sister subtracts, she can find out that how many tenths are left? 1. Go ahead and record that in your standard algorithm over there. Okay, we have 1/10 left. What can we do about that? We know that we can, everyone, regroup. That 1/10 becomes how many hundredths? 10. So draw a rod to show that that's 10 hundredths. That's the same as brother bringing down. How many hundredths did we have before? 0. So that's the same as brother bringing down that 0 to show that now we have 10. Do you see that? Very good. Okay, if I have 10 hundredths and I want to share it equally amongst two groups, how many hundredths can go into each group? Stella? 5. Very good. So go ahead and draw those 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this group and 5 in this group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Record the 5 and it's in the hundredths column. So make sure when you record it, it's in the hundredths. And then mom can multiply to figure out how many we used up. If I have 5 in each group and there's 2 groups, 5 times 2 is 10. Very good. Then sister's going to subtract. Cross out that 10. How many hundredths are left? 0. So there's nothing left. That means that we are done dividing. So the quotient, 1.7 divided by 2, is 0.85. Very good. Now if we want to check our work, what multiplication equation would we do to check our work? Mackenzie?
1.7 times.
Remember, we went this way for division, so we have to do the opposite way, the inverse way, for multiplication. So which number do we start with?
0.8.
Very good. So we do 0.85 times 2, and if we're right, it should equal 1.7. Okay? We won't check right now because we need to move on. If we're going to imagine a place value chart inside our head, we start with the biggest units. What's our biggest unit here? The ones. Good. How many dots do we have inside our ones? 7. So if I'm going to share those ones equally amongst 4 groups, how many can fit into each group? 1. So let's record that we would put 1 in each group. If we put 1 in each group, how many did we use up? We do 1 times 4, which is 4. If we cross out those 4 that we used, how many were left?
3.
3. Very good. Now, we can't share those 3 into 4 groups anymore, so we need to do what? Regroup. Those 3 ones will become how many tenths? 30 tenths. Yeah. Wait, do the 3 ones become 37 tenths? No, they just become 30 tenths. But after brother combines those 30 tenths with the 7 tenths we already have, how many tenths did we have? 37 tenths. Very good. Okay, if I have 37 tenths and want to share it equally into 4 groups, how many can fit in each group? This is why you need to know your math facts. Young?
9.
9. Very nice. So let's record that there would be 9 tenths in each group. Okay, mom can multiply. We know that we put 9 tenths in each group, and there's 4 groups. So we could do 9 times 4 to find out how many tenths we used up. Supan, how many tenths did we use up? So we can record, mom can record after she multiplies that we used 36. Now, this decimal point here, you don't really need to write it. Okay? As long as you write it up here, you're okay. Does that make sense? Okay. So 37, I had 37 and I'm crossing out 36 of them. How many do I have left?
1.
Very good. When sister subtracts, she knows that there's 1. Okay. Does that mean we're done? Do we just write 1.9 remainder 1? No. Because we can regroup. That 1/10 is going to become 10 what? Hundredths. Good. And that's the same. How many hundredths do we have in our normal whole? 0. So brother can bring down this 0 to make it 10 hundredths. Okay, if I have 10 hundredths and I want to put them each into 4 groups, how many can go into each group?
2.
2. So let's put the 2 up in the hundredths. And how many did I use up? 8, because 2 times 4 is 8. Very good. Okay, how many do I have left?
2.
2. Very good. Are we done? No. Because those 2 hundredths become 20 thousands. Good. How do I record that? Well, how many thousands did I have in my normal whole? 0. And when brother brings it down, it becomes how many? 20. Very good. Now, if I have 20 and it needs to go into 4 equal groups, how many can fit in each group? 5. Very good. So 5 thousandths. How many thousands did we use up altogether? You do 5 times 4. You multiply to find out that you used 20 altogether. And how many were left? 0. So what we learned by doing this is we are done when we get to 0. Okay? So therefore, 7.7 divided by 4 is 1.9. 1.925. Very good. 1 and 925 thousandths. If you wanted to check this, what multiplication problem could you do to check it? Jaden,
19.25
what's the number?
or 19.
Wait, where's the decimal point? It's 1.925.
1.925 times 4.
Very good. Should I write equals 7.7?